So I had set up my Unique 15R on the Hoop Frame Pro and was able to do some practice stitching here with it on my frame real quick just to see that it worked using Finesse thread from the Grace Company. But in the meantime, I thought of a good project for me to see if I can learn how to use the free motion. So my friend loves sea turtles, so I'm going to make a wall hanging, a real quick one, draw out some sketches and some ideas. Okay, trying to do some thread painting, some trapunto quilting. So then I went ahead and drew it out a little bit better, a little sketch. I found some kids' toys to inspire me for in the ocean. I'm going to do around here. My plan is to do free motion incorporating ocean creatures, and then the turtle I'll try to do trapunto, but I'm going to set up a couple different ones. I measured the maximum comfortable quilting space, and that's this size, so that's what I'm going to set up. So I picked my fabrics. I have a backing here. I ironed it. My batting. I have my blue for the ocean, green for the turtle back, brown for the head and legs. And I bought 3 different Finesse threads, each for the different parts of the turtle in the ocean. So what I'm going to do now is take this off and load my backing and batting, and then I will come back. Okay, so I got this off the frame. So top side, used a quick scrap fabric I had, but from the bottom you could see I initially had a lot of eyelashing. I had to adjust the tension, and then it got better and smoother, and then I was able to just play around, and it worked great. I was so excited. So the long arm came with a few pre-wound bobbins, but they said it was a cotton thread, and they actually recommended their Finesse thread. So I bought a spool of their Finesse thread and wound a bobbin, and then did the tension check. I had to adjust the bobbin tension a little bit, and then I had to, when I threaded the machine, loosen the tension up over here quite a bit, back to all the way out, actually. And then I just slowly turned it until I ended up at about 2 to get a nice even tension there, as you can see on the bottom. So I followed the instructions very carefully. You can see I just bought a nice gray neutral thread, which I will be using in this turtle project as well. And it did a wonderful job of tightening it up, as you can see here. So now I've laid out my leader cloth. I marked the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and pin my background fabric to this. Okay, I'm about halfway through pinning my background. I started in the middle. This is the part I had ironed with some best press. And now I'm going back to the middle, and I'm going to continue to pin along that line. Okay, you can see I finished pinning the background fabric upside down to the leader cloth, starting in the middle. So I have a lot of overhang, which is fine. And I wanted this to be at least wide enough to be totally clamped in. So now I'm going to grab my batting and follow the instructions here on the fabric setup and pin that on top. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention was the batting actually has a right and a wrong side when setting up your quilt. So this batting you can see is raised on this side. That's actually the bottom. I want that on the bottom. This side has indentations and needle holes. That's from the machine making it punching down. And I want my needle to punch down into it in the same direction. So this is going to lay on my backing with those needle holes up and those little poppers down. Okay, so here you can see I've loaded everything onto the quilt frame. I did not want to start, since this isn't a quilt, I wanted it all to be completely on the thing, so I rolled this up a bit so that it doesn't matter if it's completely centered. As long as this is centered, I'm going to be fine and happy with that. So I checked my background from underneath, and that also looks nice and smooth. And so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and lay some basting stitches all the way around and make sure that I can outline the effective working area. Okay, so I have my machine on. I selected baste mode. But one of the things you're going to notice because of the size of the legs here, that they bump the frame. And so in here I can't move forward, but then I can slip in there and go over here. You can see on the fabric, so I can do in here, but then here I'm going to go out. So I don't want to be doing that, so I'm going to go right a little bit to the right of where those legs are and go ahead and lock my channel lock back here, and so that I base that line, and I'm not going to be trying to go past that with the quilt. Okay, so same thing. I don't want to go as far back as I possibly can, and so I went a little bit closer to me from there and pulled up my bobbin thread, and now I'm just going to stitch a straight line towards me. So I've finished stitching a basting, a thread marking my possible quilting area. That's all I have time for today. So tomorrow I'm gonna define a area to work on tension and hopefully fit 3 different turtle areas within here, at least 2, so that I can have more and more practice and pick which one I like the best.